What's good, everybody? I'm Keandre, this is Hoop Intellect, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got the start of a new series that I'm kind of testing out in Rookie Watch. While I like the draft, I'd much rather actually watch them play and develop in the league. And I know a lot of you end up getting attached and choosing your future favorite players from watching all these videos, so it's only right we give you something focused on them actually in the NBA. In this series, we'll talk and break down some of the most notable things that are going on in the rookie world. And I haven't quite decided if I want to do this every week or maybe every 2 weeks, but as the season goes on, we'll know for sure. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of the most impressive rookies in the league so far, starting with the third overall pick, Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mobley has honestly been excellent so far. You guys know he was my number 2 prospect, but even I've been a bit surprised at how quickly he's made an impact offensively and how composed he's been even in these weird lineups he's been thrown into. Defensively, he's been excellent, like one of the best and most versatile defenders in the league type of excellent. The Cavs have been competitive down to the last several minutes in all of their games so far, and a big part of that has to go to Mobley's ability to sort of fill in the gaps around the Sextons, Garlands, and Jarrett Allen. And pretty much every time guys try to attack him on switches, he's making it a difficult shot at the very least. One of the more intriguing clips was Mobley out in space versus Trae Young. Defending on the perimeter was one of his best attributes coming into the league, and has definitely been there so far. The help defense definitely helped him a bit here, but that's one of the best guards in the league, and he's a 7-foot rookie big man. The biggest area he's shown some improvement from college or even the summer league is as a shooter. Now it remains to be seen how long this lasts. I think it'll still take him a year or two to really be that guy as a shooter, especially from 3 and from the mid-range as well. But he's looked confident, composed, and some of these dribble pull-ups are just beautiful.
Here's off a love screen, bounces to Mobley. Mobley looking to use that length, and that's precisely.
He has been a part of this Grizzlies team for a couple of seasons with the way that
he's continued to be one of the most fluid big men I've seen, which is why that Chris Bosh, Anthony Davis comparison really exists. He's not the guy who's going to wow you with his explosiveness, so people won't bring him up in that athlete talk, but I think he'll end up deserving to be there. We won't fully get into it today, but Mobley has long showed signs of being a really good passer, and filling in what was that Larry Nance role for the last couple years, I think we see a bit more of those 5+ assist nights. He's still not very comfortable bringing the ball up the floor, but whenever that clicks for him, he's going to be one of the scariest grab and go bigs in the league. And now to our second top performer on the Rookie Watch, Indiana's Chris Duarte. There's a reason I named Chris Duarte to the first annual Desmond Bane All-Stars last draft season. He just felt like he was instant impact even with the age and maybe less typical physical tools. He lit it up in his first game, he was rock solid in his second appearance, and though he shot it pretty poorly against the Heat, he took over 20 shots, including some big ones down the stretch, which that in itself for a rookie is an accomplishment to me, and it's not like he was terrible, he just didn't shoot the ball well. Playing 40 minutes is a rare occurrence for rookies of any caliber, and he's done that twice already. He also had a solid 18 against the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. Duarte has shot about 46% on 7 3-point attempts through his first 4 NBA games. His footwork, his balance, and ability to get into the passing windows and relocate to the open spaces is all terrific. I don't think he'll quite keep up this level from deep, but 40% is definitely a possibility, especially if and when he returns to more of a complimentary role. It's random, but this man pretty much never misses buzzer beaters. Outside of that one at the end of the game, I'm not 100% sure I've seen him miss since entering the league. He rises to the occasion, and I think we're past it being an aberration, especially given Rick Carlisle already trusts him with those type of shots. And Duarte's ability to make plays in the pick and roll for himself and others was definitely an underrated piece of his game, but it's popped so far. Here, this one was a big time play in overtime. Duarte gets a screen from Sabonis, he jump stops with KCP on his back, Kuz commits to him as well, and he finds a low angle around Kuz for the big time bucket. Earlier in this game, Duarte goes through his progressions. He probably could have and should have hit Sabonis on the roll with Gafford so high, but he's a little late, and once he picks the ball up and looks that direction, he sees Kuz help as the bottom side guy, and Duarte hits Turner in the corner for the easy 3. And finally, we've got some great pace here. He uses the little hesitation to get just enough space to get the lay-in past PJ Washington. Love that move right there.
I feel like I earned that, working hard on and off the court, listening to my teammates, my coaches. So I'm just going out there and be Chris Duarte, just play my game. That's what I do.
Now the last guy we'll focus on in this video is the 4th overall pick, Mr. Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. Scottie has always been a tremendous defender, and a lot of that has immediately translated to the league and made things difficult for opponents. Like through the first week of the season, he's probably in my top 15 in the entire NBA as defenders go, and that's just being generous. He's super versatile and it jumps off the screen. He spent time guarding multiple positions and excelling in several different areas on the court. He still gets a bit excited and into foul trouble, but once he settles down just a little, gambles less, he really does have the potential to be one of the best defenders in the league for a long time. But we already knew that about Scottie. What has really impressed me is how much more effective he's been in the half court as opposed to in college. Now NBA adjusted, he's still got a ton of work to do, but he's already come a long way. And the NBA spacing has definitely helped him on his drives, that's for sure. He's added these little short range leaners, the mid range jumper has been a wild revelation for him, the 3-point shot looks better already, and I've gotta say, like if you're a Raptors fan, you have to be extremely excited. He's not a finished product and he'll have his rough moments and times where he'll throw 5 turnovers still, but his early career progression is more than you could ask for. Now this might be my favorite play from Scottie so far, not because it was super meaningful or that it was like spectacular or anything, but it's definitely growth for him as a player. He steps right into a mid-range pull-up in semi-transition off the right-left footwork. Super fluid, super confident, sign me up. And this one too, from the fake dribble handoff or no-look drive, held by some awful Luka defense, and into the absolute destruction of the rim taken off of 2 feet, from the dots, into a 2-hand slam. Come on. He's found a way to get those gimme buckets through offensive rebounds, which he's gotten a healthy amount of, and of course in transition he really shines. Though it hasn't been there in the form of assist numbers, the rookie has given the Raptors a necessary ball mover and passer. Once he works on that handle a little bit and can better put pressure on the defense, he'll earn a lot more creating opportunities. And how could you not cheer for this dude?
I said it a long time ago. I look forward to everybody. He's definitely one of those guys that you just want to see in person because he's just really good. But he's really good. I didn't know he was that tall. I was surprised because, damn, he's big as hell.
And now to some other rookies I felt were worth mentioning this week. I know people like to dump on Franz Wagner because he had a rough March Madness. There was still a lot to like with Franz as a prospect. He ended up in Orlando at number 8, which of course brought more attention to him. But he's been really playing his all-around brand of basketball really well early on. He's gotten some great buckets off of cuts, a couple handoffs. I still want to see him better use that left hand at some point in his life, but we'll take what we can get right now. When he's looking at the basket and looking to score and shoot immediately after the catch, he's a completely different player. Defensively, I love what I've seen, especially in transition and navigating screens on the perimeter. Not saying he's been perfect there, he's been guarding some people who make more money in game checks than your local bank can hold, and he hasn't gotten too awfully burnt yet. He always has active hands and tries to close the gap. And finally, the 3-point shot has looked solid. Even in the first game where he went 0 for 2, there were confident attempts, his feet weren't as wide, and it was a much more fluid and quicker release. And then in game 2, he hit a barrage of them, including a few in rhythm and transition, so that's really great to see. The number 2 overall pick, Jalen Green, got off to a rough start, but bounced back in a big way, getting 30 and hitting 8 threes against the Boston Celtics. He's a perfect example of how annoying social media can be in this era of the NBA. You have 2 bad games to start your career and you're automatically a bust, or you have a great first game and you're the best player ever. Like, it's gotta be exhausting for some of y'all at some point. Jalen Green can score the ball, and while he's absolutely going to have his low moments, especially given how he's built physically, there's no reason to believe he's not still on the same trajectory that made him the number 2 pick. And he's also had some really nice moments as a passer, which is a great contrast from about a year or 2 ago. We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't talk about him almost having the dunk of a lifetime over Mike Muscala. Man, when he gets to going in game action, the fans are cheering and he has time to load up. He's legitimately one of the most ridiculous leapers I've ever seen. He's been one of my personal favorite dunkers since he was like 16, and yeah, I know it's controversial, but there's still some Michael Jordan in his movements. And last but not least, Lakers undrafted rookie Austin Reeves deserves a shout out. I thought he was a lock to go in the second round, and he intentionally got himself into this Lakers situation, and it's paid off early on. Reeves is playing important in crunch time minutes with 4 or 5 of the 75 greatest players ever. He's bringing a spark, and you've got to commend the undrafted rookie for doing it, especially in the bright LA lights. I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and just because I didn't mention some of the other notable rookies, and this one doesn't mean anything significant. You know, Cade Cunningham's been out with that ankle injury. Hopefully he gets back as soon as possible. Josh Giddey had sort of a rocky start, but bounced back in a big way against Philly. That was a big time performance. You know, Davion's putting everybody in Rikers. And he got it going offensively against the Warriors. Jalen Suggs is not shooting the ball well, but his overall impact has been pretty solid. I like what I've seen from him. You know, it's 3-4 games for a lot of 2-3-4 games for a lot of these players. So it's not a whole bunch you can take away, but that's gonna do it for this week. You know, this class has a really good chance to be really good. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below some of your favorite rookie performances and moments. And yeah, I'm Keandre. This is Hoop and Elect, and I'm out.
24/7 like the Waffle House. 3 cell phone bill, then they talk about might pull your girl with a head now. I used to offer